All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? It's Else here. I'm bringing you a build video today. So this is going to be my first build video for Dragon Bones. As you all know, if you guys are on PC, you guys have been fortunate enough to have Dragon Bones for a month now. Once it came out, I started farming. I haven't really got out of the farming grind until a couple days ago. Wanted to test some stuff. I've been PvPing. You know, just comparing different numbers and stuff, and I found a build that I really like. So figured it was worth sharing. I wanted to show it to you guys. This build can work on any sword and board build. I think this is going to really become popular really quickly, if it isn't already, for a lot of reasons. First of all, and you'll see why it works. Let me start that over. You'll see why it'll work very well for sword and board really quickly, and I'll explain why it's not going to work for other builds. So if you're a Stamplar, it's going to work very well for that. Stam DK, it's going to work very well for that. This is on my Stam Sorc, so this is going to be more of a Stam Sorc build, but literally can go on any sword and board build. So yeah, so let's dive into it. I'm going to call this the Kael build. Kael is a badass in the movie Willow. If you guys haven't seen Willow, definitely go check it out. I try to make my character look like it. If you guys want to know what styles and everything are to get this look, I will let you know in the comment section. So anyway, we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to go into the consumables, we're going to go into the gear, and then at the end, I'm going to compare and contrast this build to another very common set, Bone Pirates. Because a lot of people, when they see this, they're going to go, yeah, but what about Bone Pirates? You could just do that with Bone Pirates. And this is better. So hold your reservations until the end. We're running 5 trappings of invigoration. We're running 3 jewelry of invigoration. I have 2 weapon damage, 1 recovery. You could honestly go 3 recovery if you wanted to. Or 3 weapon damage for more damage. This is just so much recovery. So this is the new set that you get in Dragon Bones. You get this in Fanglair. 2 pieces recovery, 3 pieces max stamina, 4 pieces stamina recovery, 5 piece when you cast an ability while under 33% stamina, you restore 8,700 stamina. This effect can occur once every 1 minute. This turns out to about 300 stamina recovery. The best part is all you have to do is switch to this bar when you're under 33% stamina, and you will get this 9,000 proc every minute. So you'll be switching back and forth to your Vigor bar very quickly. This just allows us to have recovery on our back bar, which then means that we can amp more damage on everything else. No poisons here. We're running the Maelstrom's Maul on the front bar. We will be using Crit Rush and Dizzying Swing. I like the Maelstrom Maul a little bit more than the Asylum 2H because we add a damage over time effect with our Crit Rush. If you like the Maul, if you like Reverse Slice and generating ultimate that way, that's more than fine. Definitely do that. I think the Maul is the best choice for this. It's just going to give us more bang for our buck. Double damage health poisons. Once again, just more pressure. We're running 2 Slime Craw. Slime Craw is just a really good monster set. You know, weapon crit and minor berserk at all times. So increases our damage by 8%. The best damage 2-piece in the game, as far as this is better than running like 1-piece Kina and 1-piece Veldreth. You'll get more damage this way. Now, if you don't like Slime Craw and you want to run like Veldreth, Veldreth will give you more burst. There will be times where Veldreth will randomly go off, it'll miss, whatever. I just went with Slime Craw because I like knowing that when I land, everything is hitting just a little bit harder. So if you like the proc, go with Veldreth. That's a very good choice. If you want Bloodspawn, that's fine too. Troll King's going to be a very good option for this as well. So those would be my top choices. I'm running 5 Shacklebreaker, heavy, all in pen. Shacklebreaker is a crafted set, very very easy to get, and minimal farming for this. It's just overall very nice for this specific build. We're going to be using Streak, we're going to be using Dark Deal. The Stamina and Magicka Recovery come in handy, as well as the Max Magicka and Max Stamina for the 5-piece. As far as our consumables go, we are running Tripots in Lingering Health Pots. Lingering Health, we're going to have so much recovery with this build. If you want to be a little bit more tanky, Lingering Health is very, very effective. And you don't really have to worry about sustain with what Trappings of Invigoration gives you. On our Sword and Board bar, we are running Resolving Vigor, Dark Deal, Reverberating Bash, Streak, and Critical Surge. Now, before I had Defensive Posture here, and it was fine, and I go back and forth between the two, but I honestly like the healing with Critical Surge a little bit more. It makes us a little bit more tanky in 1vx situations. Critical Surge is just very nice, especially when we get our Caltrops down, when we have a Hurricane up. Critical Surge, even with our low amount of crit, will be going off quite a bit. When our poisons proc, when our Merciless Charge, dots are ticking. We actually have quite a few damage over time effects that will proc Critical Surge that will keep us alive for a while. Overload Ultimate on our back bar. On our front bar, we're running Dawnbreaker of Smiting, Dizzying Swing, Hurricane, Forward Momentum. This is a heavy armor build, so we need Forward Momentum to remove the snares. Critical Rush, and Reverse Slice. As far as on our overload bar, if we go into it, we have Retreating Maneuvers, Dark Deal, Caltrops, Streak, and Rearming Trap. Rearming Trap, once again, it gives us it's a good damage over time effect. It snares the opponent. It also gives us -4, so increases our critical damage by 10%. Caltrops will snare our opponent, allows us to do more damage in an area. Good AoE for group play. As far as CP goes, 40 into Warlord, 37 into Tenacity, 56 into Mooncalf, 40 Shadow Ward, 56 Tumbling, 11 into Befoul. You could honestly put a few more into Befoul if you wanted to. That's up to you. 43 into Blessed, 48 Master at Arms, 49 Mighty, 26 Piercing, 40 Precise Strikes, 34 into Thaumaturge. Keep in mind, we have Hurricane, we have Caltrops, we have Trap Beast, we have Poison. So having some points in the Thaumaturge does come in handy. If you want the more burst, obviously go more Master at Arms, more Mighty. You're going to have to just tinker with it to see what you like. 44 Ironclad, 32 Resistant, 31 Thick Skin, 43 Hardy, 43 Elemental Defender, 49 Quick Recovery, and that is the end of it. As far as our Mundus Stone goes, we are wearing the Warrior Mundus. We have so much recovery we can then stack more damage with this. We are a Werewolf. I'm not currently using Werewolf, but you can use that if you want to. Dawnbreaker has been kind of a bitch lately, pardon my language, but it's just not been very good at times. So if you want to go Werewolf, if you want to use Storm Atronach, I think those are both good choices as well. 64 points in the Stamina. This is our stats on our front bar. When we fully buff up, we have 28-16 weapon damage, 1546 stamina recovery, 37k max stam, 16k health. That turns into 22k health in PvP. Critical resistance is very high, 2600. When we buff up, we're going to have 2000 resistances on our front bar. And then on our back bar, we have 24,000 resistances on our back bar. So our stamina recovery is at 1700. That's already high for a Stam Sorc build, especially using Dark Deal. That's actually 300 higher considering the Trappings of Invigoration set. So I think that's the gear. That's the CP. That's the potions. We are running Dubious Cameron Throne for this build. So the questions people are going to ask, and I already know it's coming because we had this discussion on one of my previous videos, is why run Trappings of Invigoration when you already have Bone Pirates? Bone Pirates is just a better set. The difference between Trappings of Invigoration and Bone Pirate is Bone Pirate has to be on both bars. In order to utilize the full set, it has to be on both bars. Trappings of Invigoration only has to be on one bar. So you can run 3 Jewelry and Sword and Board, and it's the back bar, and you still get the same amount of recovery. So what that means is then you can amp more damage on your 5-piece, your Mundus Stone, your Jewelry, all of that. So you'll see here that I am running Shacklebreaker. I chose Shackle over 7th Legion and Hundings because I actually value the Magicka recovery and the Max Magicka a little bit more. There's nothing wrong with 7th Legion. 7th Legion is going to give you a little bit more burst. Very effective, but I honestly thought that little extra, that one extra streak, that one extra Dark Deal was just a little bit more valuable than that little bit more weapon damage. So if you don't agree with me, I would switch that up, but I still think Invigoration's the way to go. And I have some fun maths for you guys to show it to you. So this is my build. We're going to go to this sweet ESO build editor, and we're going to compare and contrast the two. So this specific build is running Clever Alchemist. So what we're doing is we're comparing Bone Pirates and Clever Alchemist with Slime Craw, Maelstrom Maul, and then Sword and Board Clever Alchemist on the back bar. This is going to be a very similar playstyle. So if people are saying, well, why not Bone Pirate? Well, we have to run Bone Pirates on both bars. So we're going to run 3 jewelry and 2 body. And then we're going to run heavy everything else. So we have to have a back bar damage set. I chose Clever Alchemist because it's easy to proc. You know, you proc it with a potion. It gives you a ton of weapon damage. I wanted to compare the numbers for you guys with a very same skills and everything, just different gear sets, and show you the difference. So if you look at this, if you guys haven't been here before, that shows you all your stats on the side. You have to input the values. If we were running Bone Pirate and Clever Alchemist, we'd have about 39k stamina on our Maul. And we would have 1800 stamina recovery with 3200 weapon damage. This is without this is with Clever Alchemist procced. Okay. So this is with Clever Alchemist procced. So when you look at this, we're running 5 Bone Pirates, 5 Clever with the back bar. You have to proc it on the back bar, obviously, and then 2 Slime Craw. So this is going to be a very bursty build. So you see with the potion procced, our Dizzying Swing hits for 16,200. Our Dawnbreaker Smiting hits for 16,200. I did the same CP for both builds, guys, just so you know. If we take Clever Alchemist off, because you don't have it up 100% of the time, it's 15 out of 45 seconds. So 1/3 of the time you have this, 2/3 of the time you have these numbers. So you have 14,320, 14,320 Dawnbreaker Smiting. It still hits hard, but, you know, obviously 2/3 of the time this is a lot less than with the potion. Like I said, 1800 stamina recovery. So that's this build. If we look at my specific build that I just showed, we have 5 Shackle Breaker, all heavy. We can run 1 light and 1 medium, so we get a little bit more max stats there. We're running them all. We got Trapeze and Invigoration. It's the same CP, the same food, everything. We're just adjusting our recovery to get the similar comparison. You see here that my stamina recovery is 1500, but on the back bar, I get 300 stamina recovery with Invigoration, so it's the same exact recovery as the previous build. It's just built into a proc set every minute instead of, you know, all the time like Bone Pirates. So it's the same recovery. With the Munda Stones and everything, instead of hitting 16,200 at the max, we're hitting 15,200. So with this build, we are going to hit about 6% weaker compared to Alchemist when Alchemist is procced, but we're hitting 6% harder when Alchemist is not procced. So we're just naturally going to have more damage all of the time with this specific build over Alchemist. Now, if you guys say, oh, I really like Clever Alchemist, you know, I really want that burst, you know, I would say that, you know, you could just run Clever Alchemist in this build over Shackle Breaker, and you will have more burst for similar recovery. So if we go in here and we do that comparison really quickly for you guys, you see how easy it is just to compare on the build editor. Like, this is just the best site for this stuff. So you see all of a sudden we're hitting 16.5. We're hitting 300 harder with this specific build and trappings compared to Bone Pirates. So if people are going to argue, you know, that Bone Pirates is a better set, I mean, I've just shown right here that it's not true. You know, you can get very similar damage running trappings on the back bar with another damage set on the front bar. You know, if you guys want to run 7th Legion here, that's fine. I like the recovery a little bit more, to be honest. So that's why I'm running Shackle. Yeah, so that's the explanation. Now, the reason our recovery, when I was showing you that, the reason our recovery is a little bit higher on our back bar is because the 4-piece is also recovery. So we get a little bit more on the back bar. So with this set, we have 2,000 recovery on the back bar. If we switch, we have 1,850 on the front bar. So that's where the difference comes in. Now, as far as how this build plays, you know, it's going to be very similar to any other Dizzying Swing build that you see. This is very common. You're going to crit rush in, you're going to hit Dizzying Swing, you're going to Dawn Break, and then you're going to Reverse Slice, and everybody's going to die. We hit really hard. We're very bursty. It's a lot of fun for that reason. On top of that, you know, for the bigger fights, if you're trying to get out line of sight, you can drop your caltrops, you can set that up, and then you can fight in this area. And then all of a sudden you have caltrops, you have your hurricane. It's really good for group play. So if all of a sudden, you know, you and your group of 3 or 4 people see too many people that you can't deal with, you know, you drop your caltrops, you get out, get the distance, put on your retreating maneuvers for your buddies, and you get around behind a tree and you get set up to where you can hopefully pick off a few less people than, you know, the Zerg that's inevitably going to chase you. What else? Oh, the difference between this and a lot of builds is, you know, people are going to ask, you know, you're running Dizzying Swing. Dizzying Swing has a CC. Why are you running Reverberating Bash? There are a lot of builds that have very high healing and, you know, Magplars and stuff. And so it's very helpful to still run Reverberating Bash. You know, sometimes you're on the defensive and you're back here, you're healing up and they're jabbing. And you'll be able to just sneak in a Reverberating Bash to stun them to go on the front bar. Sometimes, like, you know, Dizzying Swing has a cast time. It's very easy to see. And so those block casting builds will just block. You'll never be able to CC them. So, but you will be able to CC them when you're on the defensive. So all of a sudden, you know, they're jabbing you, they're whipping you. You hit them with a quick reverb, you streak, you dark deal, you get some resources back, you buff up, and then you go back in. I don't know why this isn't working super well right now, but that's the gist of the video, guys. This, like I said, this is going to work on any 2H and Sword and Board build. I already know this is going to be very good on a Stamplar. For a Stamplar, I would just switch Ravager. I will post that build as well when I try it out and do whatever. But Trappings of Invigoration, guys, very, very good set. Very underrated, probably underrated at this point because not a whole lot of people know about it. I'm guessing, this is going to be my prediction, but in 3 months, people are going to say Trappings of Invigoration is the meta for Sword and Board builds. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, hopefully that compare and contrast helped you guys out. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.